if you're looking to chip better, if you're looking to improve your strike, chip the ball closer and get your scores down this year, then guys, welcome to Get Good at Golf. Today we are talking chipping. We're talking about around the greens, 5 basic things that you need to get right to be able to lower your scores, get that handicap down and enjoy your golf a little bit more. Because how many times people hit drives just like the ones on screen, you then hit a shot into the green and unfortunately you miss. And then we've got the dreaded chip shot. We're short-sided, maybe we're in the rough, maybe we've got a nice bare lie and we don't know what to do. And the pressure starts to get to you. Well, what do we want to do is start to come down and practice, the elusive word. Yes, we need to practice chipping. We can't just go out there and obviously just get better by hitting more shots, because the biggest faults that we see is people stood just like this. And you might be thinking, is he chipping it to that one there? Is he chipping it to the middle? Or is he hitting it over there and is he hitting it 100 yards? So setup, first of all, is key. Because if I stand a long way away from this golf ball, there's a lot of rotation of the club face. So the club face here has got a lot of work to do to get back in time to be square. It's going to come in very shallow. And we're not sure whether we're going to help that ball up into the air like a lot of people do. And they hit that shot right there. So all my weight is on my right foot. I've tried to help the ball into the air and we've got no control. So what I want you to do is, if we're hitting a little chip shot like this, we're going to get our feet nice and close together, around about a club width apart. We're going to be around about a foot away from the golf ball. So yes, you might say, well, I've got size 7 feet, and somebody might say I've got size 14 feet. But yes, we're a little bit closer. As a result, we're going to get a little bit taller as well. From here, it's much easier for me to control that club head and obviously get it going a little bit straighter on the way back. It's not working around my body as much. So we can start to control the angle of attack, because on these shots, we still want to hit down. So once I've got my feet correct, I'm a little bit closer and taller. We'll move on to point number 2, which is weight distribution. So I want you to get your weight onto your lead side, so your left-hand side if you're a right-hand golfer, and we're going to get your sternum ahead of the golf ball so we can hit down into it. But one of the big faults we see from here is if I say to somebody, get your weight onto your left, they do it with their legs and their lower body, but you see that my upper body is still hanging back here. So I'm still behind. My low point can start back here near my right foot, and we're either going to drop kick that golf ball, or we're going to hit the same shot I've just hit, and we're going to thin it straight through the back. So when we come in and we're closer to the golf ball, we're going to make sure that I'm leaning left with everything. So if you've got a zipper on your coat, if you've got buttons on your shirt, you're going to see how we are leaning forward all together. And then from here, it is much easier for me to control how I take that club away. I deliver a downward blow, and we should be able to get this a lot more consistent into the air nicely and going near the flag. So after we've done those 2 things, how do we get that strike? How do we control our flight? Well, that's where we talk about point number 3. So point number 3, we now need to talk about ball position. So what are you trying to achieve? If I'm hitting to this short-sided shot here, I'm a little bit below the green, so I need a little bit of loft. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I've got my 56 degree here. I'm going to have it a little bit further forwards in the stance, my weight still left. I'm going to slightly open that club face. So ball position forwards, a nice easy motion there, and nice and close. So you might say, right, well, ball position forwards, do I need to do anything different? No, because your weight's still left. We've added the loft onto your club by opening that club face. But now let's say I wanted to play a low shot to that. Let's say that I wanted to play that little bit of a bump and run. Well, all I'm going to do there is I'm going to keep my stance the same, nice and narrow. I'm taller to it, but I'm going to put this in the back of my stance. So again, my weight is going left. I'm not doing the classic, which is putting my hands forwards to get this to go lower, because this will do that. How many times you have done that, the ball's not gone anywhere, or you've hit the golf ball and it's gone around about a yard. So we're going to get it back in that stance, but then I'm going to move my weight forwards, and it's still always going to be just ahead of your zipper, just ahead of your belt buckle, and that's now going to help us with a 56 degree to get it to go low. And I know there'll be people behind the screen screaming, well, I just go to my 8-iron, I go to my pitching wedge, which is absolutely fine. That is an option. If you can be consistent with that, then that's great. But if you're somebody who just likes to use one club, maybe pick your 56, your 54 and get really good at that, because around the edge of the green you'll start to understand what you need to do to play and execute a shot. If we change club to a pitching wedge or an A-time, for example, the club gets a little bit longer. You might have a different design in those clubs. If you've got hollow body clubs, it might come off a little bit faster, so it might be harder to judge. So that's just one thing that you need to take into account. It is a good shot to play. If you know how to control it, then keep going with that. But if I'm using that 56, I'm getting consistent, back of my stance, my weight is left, and from here, you can see a totally different shot to the first one with the same club, and you can see two good outcomes. We've got two good chances there. So yes, we've started to look at a few things that can help you improve it. So first of all, we need to get that stance right. The second is obviously your weight distribution. Third is obviously that ball position, depending on what shot you want. Now the fourth one for me is a big talking point with every single club in your golf bag. But what is it? Now the fourth point is the only thing that is in contact with the golf club, and that is your grip. Because how many times I see people here with the short game, even with your putter, and we start to strangle that club. Grip pressure is 15 out of 10. It gets all very rigid, and we don't have any kind of control on how that club head is releasing. We want you to think it's around about a 5 out of 10. So nice and loose, that can allow that club head to have a little bit of swing. We can let that club head pass the hands as we turn, and it's nice and consistent. If it's rigid, you might be that person, you catch the ground one time, you don't catch it the next. And if you was watching that, if you think watching back there now, do you think those swings I've just made, the last three, are going to go close to that hole? One might if it rides up the face and it pops up nicely, but the others are going to go 10-15 yards past, and we've got the same problem coming back. So I want you to think grip pressure, nice and light, 5 out of 10, and just let that club head pass the hands, and you'll see that it finishes here in front of me. It's not finishing around here because I've had to try and make some extremely awkward compensation. So grip pressure is number 4, and number 5 is what golf ball are you using? Are you consistent with your golf ball? I've used 2 Wilson golf balls there, the exact same golf ball, because that will allow me to judge how fast it's coming off the face, how it's going to react if I make a good strike onto the green. If you're switching and changing from a Pinnacle to a Callaway to a Pro V1 to a Kirkland, we're not going to know how that's going to come off. We're not going to be able to control your spin, your flight, and understand exactly what you are trying to achieve. You might make it harder for yourself if you're constantly changing golf ball. And the way to test that out is obviously to get a golf ball, come out here and play and see which one feels nice around the edge of the green, because after all, on average, you're probably going to be missing over 10 greens around, so we are going to be chipping. So we need to make sure we've got a golf ball that you're confident within, chipping nice and close like that, and starting to get your up and down ratio much better. Because if you can do that, guys, you can get your handicap down, you can get good at golf. And if you want to do just that, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and hopefully this will help your short game.